This is King Noble Black Supremacy. With this particular video, I want to talk about the difference between being with someone and being in a relationship. Two different things. Being with someone and being in a relationship with someone. Now, you can be with someone and be in a relationship with someone. They both can occur simultaneously. But a lot of times, or oftentimes, what we call a relationship is a construct. A construct that we had before we ever met anyone. We had a construct about how things should be. We had these pre-existing definitions about what a relationship is. And we can kind of call that artificial. Because this is before you ever really had to relate to any human being. It makes it kind of disingenuous. Because you never had to relate to anyone. You never had the experience. But you had preconceived notions. And you had a construct that the people you should meet should now fit this construct. Before you even got to know them or know what you would like about them or know who they are. You didn't approach it with openness. You brought your construct. So it wasn't even about being with the person. It's about finding someone who could be in the same construct that you are in. So what we call a relationship today is two people who embrace the same construct together. And what we call divorce is when two people can't agree on the same construct anymore. So then they separate. It has nothing to do with two people being together or being with another person. A relationship today has nothing to do with another person. There's no one else there but you and your construct. And somebody either fit that or they don't. Either my way or the highway. And a lot of times the my way ain't even my way. It's something that was given to you. Something that was given to you, programmed, or you inherited. Or you were trained. So the my way ain't even really your way. But it's what you feel like is the right way. With this, we never get to know another person. We never can be with anyone. Because we are not present. We can only apply our construct, apply our template, measure people up to our templates to see if they fit. We never ever can know another person. It's not even about another person. It's about how that so-called other person can fit into a construct. Being with somebody is way more natural, way more open, way more sincere, because you're really trying to get to know someone else. And knowing another person is just as intimate or intricate as knowing yourself, because through knowing others we come to know more about ourselves simultaneously. That self-revelation can come through knowing another. When we talk about knowledge of self, we talk about books. We talk about videos. We talk about meditation. We talk about introspection, reflection. But we don't know that actually self-revelation can happen while you're knowing another. That your so-called mate or the person that you're being with can start to reveal dimensions and aspects of yourself that you didn't even know about. Not even talking about the fact that you didn't know them, about yourself that you didn't even know about. That true attraction cannot be completely understood, but can be discovered. So being with someone is a discovery process. that you're open to. You're attracted to them on an essential level. But now you want to discover more about yourself through that attraction. You want more divine revelation through this attraction that you have to someone else. So the attraction magnetically draws you to the person, but it's really drawing you closer to the unrevealed aspects of yourself that was hidden in your attraction to them. Not about a relationship construct. True relationship is about self-knowledge, self-discovery through another, knowing another, moment to moment, genuinely. It takes courage because you have to confront yourself in the most deepest way. You have to confront your jealousy. You have to confront your fears. You have to confront the parameters of your construct, of your paradigm. You're on the final frontier of your old self. If you truly engage in a relationship, because everything's put before you if you're really about being with someone else. If you're about just being with yourself, that's safe. Being with your opinions, being with your ideas, being with your worldview, being with your own utopia, your own fantasy, your own self-righteousness. If you're about being with that, you're not interested in being with someone else. You're looking for someone who can relate to your construct. This is my construct. This is what I am. This is who it is. This is what it's about. Now you relate to that. But if you want to be authentic, genuine, and you have the courage to tread upon the path of self-discovery, the path of truth, then you can be with someone else. You can be with the process. You can be with your journey that shows up as other people. You can be with moment-to-moment revelation about who you are, about what it's all about. You can be with somebody. See, being with someone is like being in nature. You can't really control nature. You can try, but nature usually ends up what it was. If you cut the grass, it grows back. If you go out in the middle of the forest, you spray mosquito spray, they're coming back. A lot of people say man can destroy nature, but nature just has a way of coming back. You can't destroy it. Nature's reality, nature's truth. Nature just tends to keep coming back. So eventually, to be in nature is to be with nature. And you have to accept it and allow it and become one with nature. You can't really control it. That's too tedious. But if you want to be healed by nature, you want to appreciate the benefits that nature has, then you have to be able to just go and be with nature. Be with what it is. Don't try to turn it into the city. Don't try to turn it into a commercial paradigm. Don't try to turn it into your fantasy. Don't try to turn it into your utopia. Be one with what it is and see what it has to offer you. See how you could benefit from it before you try to cut it down and destroy it and turn it into what you want and make it look like your perfect backyard. What benefits? What herbs are growing there? What natural resources? See the benefits of nature before you try to destroy and control and contain and reform it. That's what a relationship is like when you're being with someone. It's like being in nature. You're able to be present. You're able to be there. You're able to really be with that person. Not with your ideas, not with your construct, not with how you've been programmed, not how you've been trained, not how you've been domesticated. You're able to be with that person. Just be with them. And a relationship will arise. The true and divine, most harmonious relationship will arise just out of your commitment or willingness to just simply be with someone else. That's when the perfect relationship will come forth. Just like in nature, if you go out in nature and just be with it, you will form a relationship with the deers and the birds and the insects and different animals and different squirrels and raccoons and possums. If you're just able to be with it, a relationship will arise where you'll become one with nature, where there'll be no separation. If you just can be with it, you can find out how you can be with it the way that it is, and you still can have harmony and peace when you become in tune with it. So when you're being with somebody, you're willing to become in tune with them. And it's not even so much becoming in tune with them, but it's becoming in tune with your attraction. Becoming in tune with what you are drawn to, what has driven you. And a lot of issues that people have in their relationships is when their construct fights their nature. It's not about an argument between two people in a relationship. It's not about differences between two people in a relationship. It's about one's construct versus nature. It's about one's construct versus their attraction. It's about one becoming in alignment with themselves. Because once you become in alignment with yourselves, you line up with your attractions. And there's no argument, because everything you attract to you is you. It is in alignment with you. It is one with you. That's why you attracted it. It's a part of your consciousness and who you are. So when you align with yourself, it's hard for you to argue with another. You can only discover more about yourself and discover yourself through your attractions. There's no one there to argue with, but someone there to appreciate as a reflection of who you are. Your constructs are not who you are. You're deeper than that. You're so much more creative. You can be inspired on such higher levels. You're so much more multidimensional than any construct you've ever been given. But we tend to believe that the construct is who we are, and we must maintain that in order to maintain our identity. And then we try to maintain our mates like we maintain our false identities. We try to maintain our mates like we maintain our false desires and our fantasies and our artificial states of mind. We try to maintain our mates like that. And that's when they break outside of the box. That's when things don't fit. And we're arguing with ourselves. We're arguing with our nature versus the constructs. Because your nature can lead you to divinity. Your premonitions, your inclinations, your attractions can lead you to divinity. But the construct can disrupt your attractions. It can disrupt your journey to the fulfillment of who you are naturally. That's expressed in what you call a relationship. That's really you able to just be with somebody else. And you're not really being with somebody else. You're really being open to another part of yourself, in contrast, a complement. So you're not being with someone else. You're being open to the greater someone else that you are, that's showing up as what you call your relationships. But you won't get to this part until you actually learn how to just be with someone. No control, no construct, no fantasy, being with them as though you would go out and be in nature because you want to be healed. You want to be rejuvenated. You want to be inspired in a different way. When you can be with another person like that, what you call a relationship will show up. But you will really be relating. You will really truly be relating to that person, because what we call a relationship now is not relating to the person. It's objectifying the person. and relating to your construct and relating the person to your construct called a relationship and what that is and what that means. But the world is so much natural than that. A lot of us have problems being with someone else in a relationship or just being with someone because we can't even be with ourselves. We can't even accept ourselves for who we are, the so-called good and bad. We can't even accept ourselves. We can't even be with ourselves. So when someone shows up as representative of that expanded self, as that existential self, of that otherness that is reflective of self, we can't be with that because we can't even be with ourselves. And a lot of times we get in relationships because we could not be by ourselves. And if you can't be by yourself, you can't be with another person because you've never been able to be by yourself with someone else. So you need them to be with them because you can't be by yourself with them. You don't hear me? I'm going in now. It's not until you can be by yourself till you can be by yourself with someone else. Because as long as you need them to be by yourself with them, then you're always going to have a problem because they're more reflective of a construct and of an artificial reality more so than you're actually being with that other person, being with that person. Being with somebody, they're not going to fit all of your ideology and all of your ideas and all of your perspectives. No matter what they are, you'll never find that. Because life is more fluid than that. Life is more alive than that. Life is more organic. Just as much as you can go in nature and it could, a forest could fulfill all of your artistic expectations and nature can refine itself to fit your most realist piece. Can a relationship reflect that? It's always going to be living, organic. It's always going to be alive. And it's always going to be free. It's going to be free in and of itself. And we end up being with somebody. We can be with somebody when we can respect their freedom because we know their freedom is a part of who they are. And that has to be a part of our attraction to them. So we love them and we reverence their freedom to be the self that we love. And our true beloved is only the product of our observation, of our highest perception. Not to control, but the most beautiful specimen in nature that we have ever observed. And we maintain that observation. We enjoy that observation. We revere that observation. We don't get in there and start messing with it and measuring it to our construct. And we destroy our relationships. We don't have that same type of appreciation that we had when we first met a person because we beat them down with our construct. We imprison them into a false paradigm. That's like a tree. You just keep chopping at it because you want the perfect tree and you keep cutting at it. You end up with no tree at all. And you wonder why you're not happy with your relationship anymore. Because you cut it down into nothing. You imprisoned it. You trapped your mate. You locked them into a world that you're not even happy about, that you don't even appreciate. You've destroyed all the excitement because you chose certainty over excitement. You chose fear over courage. You chose acceptance and mediocrity over an open-ended, magnificent journey with another person. When you can be with somebody, it takes a certain confidence and security and oneness in the universe to just be able to be with somebody else. Because unfortunately, no matter how big your ego is, and it ever gets, there will always be somebody else. And they'll have different views and different perspectives and different ideas and different goals and different... There'll always be somebody else. And you got to ask yourself, with this huge ego, are you really able to be with somebody else? A lot of single people out here today with no relationships, single black mothers, single black women, single this, bachelors, and this, that, and that. It's because they can't, their ego's so big, they become so narcissistic and so egocentric that they could not possibly even be with someone else, that the idea of someone else bothers them. Because everything must fall into their construct that's not even their own. And relationships have become more about their ego survival than actually being with another person. Validating a false and artificial sense of themselves is more important in their relationship than being with another person. The idea that there is somebody else totally petrifies them and immobilizes them. At some point, beloved, you must simply learn how to just be with someone else, and the relationships will happen and continue to grow and expand beyond your imagination. And it's natural. Not just your ego. It's not to fulfill your ego. A relationship is an opportunity to kill the self that you thought you were, and to be born into a greater sense of self that encompasses and embraces the somebody else-ness of it all, which is really a part of you, which really fuels you and inspires you. It's all divine if you but knew, if you but understood. But you must learn how to just simply be with somebody else. Let it all go. Let go of all your constructs and be with someone else. Because even the beingness with someone else is paramount poetically to being with God. The great somebody else, the great something else, the divine, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient somebody else of it all. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnobleuncensored.com. Subscribe to my new YouTube page now, King Noble Guru. Hit the notification bell button so you can get notified every time I put out new videos, and hit the like button right now. Follow me on Instagram, KingNobleUncensored.c.o.m. Black Supremacy.